Hey guys, Mr. Gardner here. Just want to go over the decimal addition and subtraction with positive and negative numbers with you. So, adding and subtracting. What is the most important thing when adding and subtracting decimals? Lining up the decimals. Yes, that is the most important part when you're doing this. When you add numbers that have decimals in them, the most crucial thing is that you write the numbers with the decimals in line. That way your ones column is in the same line, your tenths, your hundredths, your thousandths, if they're there, your tens, all that needs to be in the same line so that when you do your addition vertically, you're adding like things with like things. If you move the decimal one way or another, for instance, let's say we did this problem here, and we did 3.21, and we just decided to do 4.5. And we'd get 6, 6, 3, and then we would be like, well, there's a decimal here and a decimal there. Oh, no, let's just put it right here. And you can see, right, this answer doesn't even make sense. It's 3.66, which is smaller than the number we're adding. Okay, and the reason why is because we didn't line the decimals up. So we were adding ones to the tenths when these are 10 times bigger than one of these. So that leads us to some issues. So always, always, always line up the decimal. And then from there, you just follow your same steps that we would follow from our integer work. So let's take a look. So what if there's negative numbers? Oh no, what do we do? Well, we just use the same rules we were using as the integers. So if the numbers are both negative, you're just going to add the two numbers up, as you can see there. And you're going to just keep the sign of the two numbers. They're both negative, so our result should be negative. So that's not bad. But then what happens if only one of them is negative and one of them is positive? Again, just because we added decimals into the mix does not mean that any of our rules are going to change. So again, we look at the two numbers, we subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, and then at the end we just keep the sign of the biggest number. So here we can see 13.6 is bigger than 5.4. So I'm going to put in, 13.6, and I'm going to subtract 5.4. See, I have my decimals lined up, critical. 2, I got to borrow from a neighbor. 13 minus 5 is 8. I'm going to bring my decimal straight down, and I know that the 13 was positive and bigger, so my answer is positive and bigger. Okay, so let's look at another example here, and if you're paying attention, you might get a freebie off of this. But let's say we have 12.24, and we are adding to that negative 2.15. Okay, again, we have a positive and a negative that we're adding together. So our rules tell us that we need to subtract those numbers and keep the bigger sign. So 12.24 minus 2.15. Again, I got to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. Bring down my decimal. 12 minus 2, 0. Bring that 1 down, 10. Again, this is the bigger number, so my answer is positive, so I get 10.09. So that's basically how we work with positive and negative decimals when we have to add them up. Okay, we just follow our rules. But we're not always going to get just addition, so sometimes we have to also look at subtraction. Again, line up the decimals you must. So let's just look at an example, okay? And the strategy we use for subtraction, we call keep, change, change. We're going to keep the first number, we're going to change subtraction to addition, and then we're going to change the number we're subtracting to its opposite value, okay? So if it's negative, it becomes positive. If it's positive, it becomes negative. And then once we have it as addition, we just go back to our addition rules that we've seen before. So if we look at this, we have 12 minus negative 6, which is really the same as 12 plus 6. Okay, so if we were going to add 12 and 6, we would get 18. All right. Another way to think about this, if you're having a hard time going, well, what's going on here? If you think of negative numbers as money you owe, it might be helpful. You can think of this as I have $12 and somebody's wiping away $6 that I owe them. So because I owed them $6 and now I don't have to pay them back, it's like they gave me $6, okay, instead of let me borrow $6. So really I had $18 because I don't have to pay that back anymore. All right, so it's actually giving me more money. And that's why when we subtract a negative, we actually go up. It's really adding a positive. So hopefully that makes make a little more sense. Okay, and again, let's just look at another example. And again, if you're watching this before you do your assignment, this could be a nice freebie for you. Okay, so let's say we have 8.48 and we're subtracting negative 4.56. All right, again, we're going to keep, change, change. So keep this one, change this, and change this. So I get 8.48 plus, now this is going to change to positive, 4.56. Okay, and that's really nice. They're both positive. I just add them. So 8.48 plus 4.56. 6 and 8 makes 14. 1, 4 is 5, and 5 again is 10, so 0. Bring up my 1, 9, 4 is 13. So there you go, 13.04. And that is adding and subtracting decimals when they have positive and negative values.